You know, we hear the word market thrown around all the time, right? The stock market's up, the housing market's down. Let's go to the farmer's market. But what do those things actually have in common? What if I told you they all operate on the exact same really simple principle? Let's break it down.
I'm serious. Just think about that for a second. In one, you're buying some fresh apples from a local farmer. In the other, you've got traders moving millions of dollars in digital shares. I mean, they couldn't seem more different, could they? But here's the thing. Underneath it all, they share the exact same DNA.
Okay, so first things first. Before we can get into the wilder examples, we need a really simple core definition to work from. When you boil it all down, every single market just has three essential ingredients. You need someone who wants to buy something, you need someone who wants to sell something, and you need some way for them to connect and make a trade. That's it. That's the blueprint for everything from a tiny flea market to the entire global economy.
A good way to think about it is like this. A market is basically a matchmaking service, and it doesn't have to be a physical place at all. It can be an app on your phone, a website, or even just a network of people talking. If it's connecting a buyer with a seller, well, you're looking at a market.
And that brings us to the most important part of this whole thing, that single word, exchange. That transaction, where one thing of value is traded for another, that is the absolute heartbeat of every market. Without that exchange, it's not a market. It's just a warehouse full of stuff sitting next to a crowd of people with money.
And what's so cool about this simple idea is how it scales up, from trading apples all the way to trading entire companies. So let's take a look at the incredible variety of markets that are out there.
So you've got your local markets for, physical stuff. Then you've got the stock market, where you trade tiny pieces of ownership in companies. There's the Forex market, that's for trading different currencies. And of course, the crypto market for all kinds of digital assets. They all look and feel completely different, but they are all running on the exact same operating system, connecting buyers and sellers.
Now, check out this contrast. It's pretty fascinating. On the left, you've got a local market. You can physically hold the apple, you hand over actual cash, the value is super easy to get your head around. But then on the right, you have the crypto market. The asset is literally just code, the exchange is all online, and the value, well, it can feel a lot more abstract. But if you strip away all the technology and the jargon, what are you left with? A buyer, a seller, and an exchange. The fundamental pattern is identical.
And that's really the main thing to remember here. It doesn't matter if you're buying a tomato or a token. You are participating in a market. The what and the where might change, but the how and the why are always the same.
So, all this brings us to a really interesting question. If a market is all about trading value, what actually is value? What counts? Well, the answer is probably a whole lot bigger than you think. Let's make this personal for a second. Forget about cash, forget about the stuff you own. What are three things that you personally have that are a part of who you are that could actually be traded in a market? Go on, give it a thought.
The answers here might actually surprise you. First off, your skills. Whether you're a coder, a writer, a plumber, whatever, those are sold in a service market every time you get a job or a freelance gig. Second, your time and your attention. That's the product you're trading to social media companies in exchange for their free apps. And finally, your ideas. They can be patented or copyrighted, becoming a tradable thing called intellectual property. See, you're a part of these complex markets every single day, and you probably don't even realize it. So the definition of what can be traded is just incredibly broad. When it comes right down to it, value is simply anything that someone else wants and is willing to give something up to get it. It's a really powerful idea that expands the concept of a market into pretty much every corner of our lives.
Okay, so we've broken down the big ideas. Now let's just do a quick check-in to make sure it all sticks. This isn't a test, don't worry. It's just a way to lock in what we've talked about.
First question, if you had to explain what a market is to a friend, how would you put it in just a simple sentence? Okay, if you said anything like, it's a system for connecting buyers and sellers, you've absolutely nailed the core idea.
All right, next one. We talked about trading everything from apples to assets. Can you name 2 examples of those financial assets that get traded in markets? Stocks and currencies are the classic examples for sure. And if you thought of crypto, hey, you're already thinking on the cutting edge.
And for the last one, let's bring it right back home. What's a local market you've actually been to yourself? A farmer's market? A craft fair? Maybe a flea market? They all count, and they're all perfect real-world examples of our definition in action.
So, if you take just one single thing away from all of this, let it be this. The technology is always changing, the products are always changing, but the core idea, that doesn't change.
From some ancient bazaar thousands of years ago to a high-frequency trading algorithm today, it is all powered by one timeless concept: the exchange of value. So the next time you're scrolling through Instagram or bidding on an auction site or even just applying for a job, I want you to ask yourself this question. You know what a market is now, so where are you going to spot the next one hiding in plain sight?